We're now joined by SAPS Limpopo spokesperson, Brigadier Hlulani Mashaba, and he joins us now via our video link. Brigadier, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. I mean, just looking at that insert, a lot of work has been done in that regard by the SAPS to arrest those 11 officers. Just tell us, when it comes to this investigation, what did it actually entail?
Thank you so much, Mbali, and good evening to you and to our viewers at home. Let me just say that today we managed to arrest about 11 traffic officers who were allegedly involved in corrupt activities. What actually transpired is that these people will go along the N1 route and especially our busy highways, and then they will solicit bribes from motorists, taxi operators and bus operators as such. And instead of them issuing a traffic fine, they will rather instead, solicit bribe just in exchange of the fault that they actually found. So they will always seek money in exchange for the faults that they found within those vehicles.
How were you alerted to this problem? And I mean, looking at the investigation taking 2 years, clearly that if you were receiving complaints, it must have been complaints for over a long period of time.
Yes, of course. Let me just say, Mbali, that this operation was actually conducted by our provincial organized crime unit together with the Road Traffic Management Corporation, the corruption unit in that regard. They followed up through the information for the past 2 years or so, because when you are dealing with investigation, you need to make sure that you have got a watertight case, you've got evidence that, will be acceptable in a court of law. So in this regard, we believe that we are ready to continue with the court proceedings because the evidence that we have, it's actually a watertight. Hence, we made the breakthrough this morning by arresting the 11 traffic officers. But we'll continue to rid our law enforcement officers of corrupt elements, because we know that corruption is a setback towards creation of safer communities, and it actually erodes public trust, in the police. So we'll do everything in our power to ensure that we have a corrupt-free law enforcement in the province.
And do we know how much was being solicited from motorists? Do we have figures to show how alarming this was when you're looking at this investigation?
Not at this point in time. As you will know, that some of this information will actually be used in the court of law. So even though we speak about the breakthrough as such, but we will not necessarily get into the details, because those details will be presented in the court of law. But safe to say that we are ready as the police in Limpopo. We've got a watertight case against the traffic officials, the 11 traffic officials that have been arrested. And maybe just to add, there are imminent arrests that we expect in this regard. We know that our law enforcement agencies has been plagued by issues of corruption in recent times. And then if you look at the alarming statistics of road safety, the road fatalities or road traffic crashes leading to fatalities, you will find that at times it's due to this disregard for the rules of the road. Because I mean, when these traffic officers are stopping people and they are inspecting, but they are not doing what they are supposed to do, sometimes they even leave people who have got vehicles that are not actually roadworthy. It is actually a problem, because at the end of the day, these people will go on and commit this accident along our roads, because obviously their vehicles are not actually roadworthy. So we'll have to make sure that our traffic officers on the road are really doing what they are supposed to do, and that is to enforce the rule of law and order.
And Brigadier, I was actually coming to the impact there when it comes to police officers taking bribes along that very important stretch of road. But at the same time, how serious is the police in Limpopo in terms of trying to clamp down on the corruption and the bribes on the N1?
Yes, we are trying our best. As you will know, along the N1, in recent times, we have been able to intercept a load of vehicles that were on roads to be smuggled outside of our province. So we are doing a lot of work in that regard, and we are making sure that as we do that work, our law enforcement agencies are corrupt-free. Because if they are corrupt, obviously they will let these vehicles to go through our busy road. So we need to ensure that we stamp the authority of the state. We ensure that our police do what is expected of them, as well as the traffic officers in this regard.
All right, Brigadier, thank you so much for that insight in terms of the arrests in that regard which have been made. That is SAPS Limpopo spokesperson, Brigadier Hlulani Mashaba, just giving us an insight in terms of the arrests that they've made in Limpopo with police officers. 11 have been arrested, but of course they're also saying there that they are expecting more arrests in that regard.